Well, the race to be the next Republican presidential candidate has shaken up. This after Rick Santorum swept all 3 states in last night's primaries. Now Mitt Romney's cozy spot as frontrunner isn't so certain anymore. Throughout the race, various candidates enjoyed their time in the limelight, only to be taken over by a new GOP flavor of the week. But one candidate's popularity has remained consistent, Ron Paul, and there are signs that he is gaining momentum, especially after coming in second in Minnesota, where he beat Romney and Gingrich. And take a look at this poll. According to the latest telephone polls coming out, frontrunner Mitt Romney lost some ground in recent days, dropping from 30 to 29%. Ron Paul is now in second place nationally. His support grew 5%, putting him at 21%, and rounding out the bunch, Newt Gingrich's support fell by 1% to 19%. And Rick Santorum's support rose by 5 to 18%. So with support for the other candidates slipping, is it Ron Paul's time to shine? Well, to dig deeper into this, I spoke with volunteer organizer and Ron Paul supporter Mary Willison earlier from Los Angeles. I asked her if Mitt Romney is still the front runner. Take a look.
No, we're really happy with how Ron Paul is steadily pulling forward, and we have a lot of faith in the strategy of his campaign, and that as he gains ground in each one of these caucuses and moves into the primary states, we are gaining momentum, we're gaining more supporters, and there's a strategy to it. So, you know, we're excited that he's not the flavor of the month. He's never had a bad race. You know, he's pulling forward.
And so now Ron Paul, he has yet to win a caucus, but as you just said, he seems to be the only one that is steadily on the upswing. He's got a very loyal following, while the others kind of come up and down. So with Romney, the traditionally seen as the front runner, losing speed, right? Is right now Ron Paul's time to shine?
I believe that it is Ron Paul's time to shine, but I'm perfectly happy with him plugging away and just keep going towards the Tampa convention. So if I don't see, I mean, it would be wonderful to win one, you know, that would be really exciting right now, but as I understand it, in Minnesota, he pulled in more delegates, even in counties where Mitt Romney, in counties where Santorum was in first place, Ron Paul got most of the delegates. So people showed up, and they're going forward in the caucuses to vote for Ron Paul.
And, you know, last night, obviously, a huge victory for Santorum after he won all 3 states. So he's proving to be this more conservative alternative to Romney, who's his critics call the Massachusetts moderate. So we are seeing this divide within the Republican Party, but Ron Paul's followers are the most passionate, most loyal. So what does this divide within the party mean for Ron Paul's campaign?
I think that the votes that are going to Santorum and Newt Gingrich currently are not being taken from, they're not coming from Ron Paul's base. They're just dipping into Mitt Romney's voter pool. And we already know that Newt Gingrich and Rick Santorum are not on the ballot in multiple states where they were not able to collect enough signatures to get on the ballot. They didn't have enough of the foresight to plan their campaigns. And in order to win with, I think it's 1,144 delegates, you know, they're not eligible for between 5 and 6 states, each of them. So, you know, a vote for Newt Gingrich and for Santorum is probably a wasted vote unless we're going to have a brokered convention, which, you know, I don't know about that, how it's going to pan out, but I'm sure that Ron Paul is gaining delegates as we go along.
And, you know, the fact that he is gaining momentum and that he has made it this far is a huge improvement from the last time he was running for the last election. So would you say that Ron Paul's image as a fringe candidate has changed?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's so much more support now. There's so much more awareness. I didn't know about Ron Paul in the last election. I was living overseas, and I was, you know, excited about the hope and change that Obama was talking about, and I don't really subscribe to party particularly per se. I'm very much want to support the things that matter to me and what I think matter to the country as a whole. I think that the political divide that we have, this is a Democrats and Republicans, is a horse and pony show, and I think that right now a lot of people are willing to cross the political divide and register themselves as a Republican, in order to take part in this, and that's what Ron Paul has. A lot of people are joining the Republican Party because, if you can't beat them, join them, and you have a lot more chance of making the change that you want to see in the world by taking part, getting in there, and being active. So, I do lean more conservatively. I'm fiscally conservative. I don't want wars, though, so on that side I'm very much different from the other GOP candidates. I think that the whole GOP is changing. We are the new voice, the new generation, and people, I encourage them, no matter if they're liberal, democratic, libertarian, whatever, independent, to go ahead and make a difference. If you could do some research and become aware of Ron Paul's policies and ideas and the change that he's trying to make. He is the only one talking about restoring our currency or competing currencies, auditing the Fed. These banks that have been bailed out, the money is vanishing. If you take MF Global, for example, money is vaporizing, and I think that they're setting a stage for something like that to happen here, and nobody else is even talking about it. Ron Paul is the only one who is willing to shine a light into the dark corners of our political parties and these big corporations who are running the show, and people are awakening to it and deciding that they can take part and make the difference. So.
And lastly, Mary, just want to ask you, Ron Paul, we see he is gaining some momentum. How can he continue to attract more voters? We are seeing that he's winning some people over from the mainstream, and he does have his loyal base. How can he continue to take advantage of this leverage?
Well, everyone who does some researching and gets involved and understands the policies usually gets profoundly moved by them and wants to be active in this and wants to make a difference. So I encourage everyone who does come along and decide to support Ron Paul to talk to your grandparents, talk to your neighbors, talk to your cousins and aunts and uncles, co-workers, everyone. You need to start raising the issues and have little political discussions. It doesn't always have to be a debate. People like to call us Paul bots because this is such an important conversation to be having. We're talking about the future of our country and our impact on the world. So, I encourage everybody to get registered as a Republican so that you have a choice when it's time for, the GOP primary candidate to go against Obama. People are trying to say the conservative or the anti-Romney. Come on. It's a joke to me.
I can tell you are certainly a huge Paul fan, and thank you so much for coming on the show. That was volunteer organizer and Ron Paul supporter, Mary Wilson.